Hey Canucks fans, Duncan Keith is heading to Edmonton, and let's look at why Wednesday is going to be such an important day of the week for the Canucks this month. I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Monday, July the 12th. Subscribe now for Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. New look today. I'm working from home, and thus I decided I don't think I've ever recorded a video going this way, looking back at my TV in my great room. So I don't think it's a great room. I mean, I don't think it's great, but that's the name of the room. So hopefully you don't mind the change in scenery, something different today. At least I'm not in my baking car. And the other thing, thank you to everyone who joined me for my live stream last night. The first one I've done for my first non-member live stream in a couple of weeks. I was a little bit rusty, but I was able to try out my new stream deck. Everything worked out well. So thanks to everyone who joined me last night. Bit of NHL news first before we talk about this important month, this important next 3 weeks coming up for the Canucks and the timing of everything. Many people, including Frank Saravelli, Elliot Friedman, reporting that the Chicago Blackhawks and the Edmonton Oilers are very close to announcing a final deal that sends longtime veteran defenseman Duncan Keith from the Chicago Blackhawks to the Edmonton Oilers, likely in exchange for young defenseman Caleb Jones and a mid-round pick, probably a third or fourth round, maybe even in this upcoming draft at the end of this month. Both teams, the Canucks have history with, obviously, the Chicago Blackhawks, those three back-to-back-to-back playoff encounters in 2009, 2010, 2011, and then Duncan Keith actually viciously injuring Daniel Steen the very next season in 2012. And one of the main reasons why the Canucks, even though they won a President's Trophy that year, ended up losing the first round of the playoffs. That one was to LA. So there's obviously not even a love-hate relationship with Duncan Keith. People hate Duncan Keith in this market. Every time to this day, 9-10 years later, he plays at Rogers Arena. He gets booed every time he touches the puck. So now he's going to come into our division. We're going to see him multiple times a year, more than the twice a year, closer to 6 or 7 times, playing for the Edmonton Oilers. And his production has obviously dropped off. He's not the elite playmaker that he used to be. In fact, he only had 15 points in 54 games last year. Prior to that, he had 27 points in 61 games. So quite a drop off on an improving Chicago Blackhawks team. Does he have much left in the tank? We will see. But he has got 2 years left on his contract. The cap hit's $5.5 million a year for those 2 years. So 5.5 and then 5.5. And then the actual salary, though, owing to him isn't much. It's actually 2.1 this season and 1.5 next season. So total cap hit over the 2 years, $11 million. Total cash out, only 3.6. So you can see why Edmonton makes this move. Conceivably, they want to strengthen their top four, and they still think that they can get something out of Duncan Keith in the final 2 years, potentially, of his career. Going back the other way, Caleb Jones entering his 5th season now. He had a 3-year entry-level contract, and now he's got another year on his next deal, which was a 2-year. He's had 3 years in the league, hasn't done anything too spectacular. I'm just pulling up his stats right now, but I do know that on this contract that's coming up, he's owed $850,000, so pretty much a minimum contract in the league. Yes, Caleb Jones, 3 years in the league, 17 games, 43 games, 33 games, and then last year in those 33 games, he had only 4 points, all of them assists. So you're getting a depth defenseman, maybe someone who might be able to play in your bottom pairing, but then also you're getting a mid-round draft pick as well. So already some people are saying that Edmonton got the better deal because they're getting the actual established player, even on the downside of his career. Others are saying that Chicago got the better of the deal because they're getting rid of that cap space and on a declining player, and maybe that mid-round draft pick, or even maybe Caleb Jones can work out, or maybe those assets are used in another move. Regardless, we will see what happens, but we look at that to be announced more formally later today. Let's talk about the Vancouver Canucks, and I led with the fact that the Wednesdays in this month are going to be very important for the team. Wednesday, July the 7th, was the start of the buyout window because basically the Tampa Bay Lightning defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning. I had a brain fart there. Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup by defeating the Montreal Canadiens, and then it triggered the 24-hour buyout, and that started last week. I'm just thinking, did Tampa win on was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Oh, it must have been Wednesday, yes. So when Tampa won on Wednesday night the 7th, it basically triggered the 24-hour period to start the buyouts after that. So that was the start. So that Wednesday was very important because it marked the end officially of the regular season. This Wednesday, July the 14th, is important for the Canucks because the Abbotsford announcement, the team, the logo, the colors, branding, all that stuff that was supposed to be last Friday, July the 9th, they bumped it to this Wednesday, July the 14th. Nothing crazy, nothing scandalous. It's not like they're having cold feet or anything or changing decisions. I've heard from many sources that it had an availability. It was an availability issue of someone that they needed at the presser. So that's this Wednesday for the Vancouver Canucks. A very important day in the history of their franchise. And the next 2 Wednesdays are even more important from a league-wide ramification standpoint. Wednesday the 21st will be the big day of the expansion draft. And then Wednesday the 28th will be free agency opening up. And in between the 21st and the 28th, both Wednesdays, like I said, you have the NHL entry draft on the 23rd and 24th. So it's going to be a very, very exciting 3 weeks coming up. Now, I want to talk about the dates surrounding the Wednesday, July 21st expansion draft, because this came up on my live stream yesterday. I want to clarify some of the important dates. So by July 17, which is Saturday at 5 p.m., these are Eastern time, but it doesn't matter. Just say Saturday the 17th. Teams must submit their protection lists for the expansion draft to the NHL. So this Saturday, the Canucks and all the teams have to submit their expansion list. The very next morning, on the Sunday the 18th, the NHL will approve and distribute the protection list to all teams, and they'll likely then become public around that time as well. Give me a second. I'm just going to let Mickey in here. In the middle of my vlog, no problem. Now Mickey's going to be running around, but that's okay. Unless one of the kids want to come down and grab Mickey, but we'll see if that happens. Okay, so July 18th on the Sunday, the NHL will likely make public that expansion list. So then we can all say, oh, that's expected, or that's who we expected for the Canucks. And we can actually look at every other single NHL team and speculate who Seattle's going to take and who the Canucks might be able to make side deals with, all those kind of things. Okay, although some of those side deals should happen before. So that's on the 18th. Then on July the 21st, which is the Wednesday, the Seattle must submit their expansion choices to the NHL, and then we'll likely find out by the end of that day, the Wednesday the 21st, who Seattle chose from each team. Now, an important caveat before that. Before the 21st, Seattle can sign UFAs and RFAs, but UFAs from other teams. But then that would count, if they do take someone, that would count as their selection from that team. So for example, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but for example, we know that Alex Edler is a UFA for the Vancouver Canucks right now. So the Canucks do not have to protect him. Technically, he's exposed, but more important way, the Canucks will not protect him because he's not under contract for next season as of now. However, if Seattle chooses Alex Edler if they sign him to a contract, which they're allowed to do, Seattle will get exclusive rights to negotiate, to interview all UFAs and RFAs for a few days between the 17th and the 21st. If they sign Alex Edler, for example, before the expansion draft to a new contract, then that is deemed as the pick from the Vancouver Canucks roster. So they will not lose then a Holtby or a Highmore or a Lind or a Gadjevich or McEwen, any of those players that I've talked about. So that's a very important thing to note. Again, if Seattle signs a UFA from any team, then that counts as the player that they choose from that team, because by default, every team can only lose one player. So that's a very important thing to recognize going forward. Then on July 22nd, so July 21st, the lists come out. July 22nd, the trade and waiver freeze is lifted, and then we get going into the NHL entry draft on July 23rd. So 3 very important Wednesdays to shape the future of the Vancouver Canucks. This Wednesday the 14th, announcement of the Abbotsford team name, logo, and colors. Wednesday the 21st, expansion draft itself. We find out who the Canucks lose. Did I say April? July 21st is the expansion draft, and then July 28th is the start of free agency. So July 14th, July 21st, July 28th, we can look forward to big news maybe on all 3 days. Okay, Mickey looks like he wants to go outside, so he might bark in any second. You guys, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this Duncan Keith to Edmonton trade. Let me know if you care. Let me know if you're still mad at him for that elbow on Daniel Sedin back in 2012. And more importantly, let's talk about the next 3 Wednesdays. Which one are you most excited about? Are you excited about the Abbotsford announcement? Are you excited about the expansion draft? Or are you excited about NHL free agency? And of course, in there's the NHL entry draft. There's negotiating with PD and Hughes. There's buyouts. There's a lot of things that are going on. And I'm predicting that we're going to have a lot to talk about on this channel going forward. So leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply as always. Shout out to my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Sim Alexander, Justin Credible, Nucks fan number 29, Lucas Gates, Adam Broomfield, Chris Seifert, Shea Family Channel, Jamie Sports Talk and More, Shannon Hollingworth, and Andrew Chang. Thanks for your support as always, and thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You're listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or any of my videos on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you like to, leave a comment if you like to, become a member of this channel if you like to. Mickey, you are so good being patient, waiting to go outside. I'll show you right now. There he is, just waiting for me to finish, so I should finish and let him out. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.